To get started with building an application in Backend, we're going to go into the dashboard and give our application a name. Then we will also give it a title. And once we've done that, we are going to click Create New App, which is going to create the application in the dashboard. The next thing we're going to do is create a database for our application, and we're not going to use sample data. We'll click Create, and Backend will go and create a database. And now that it is created and connected, we're going to go in and manage the application. If you click on the Database tab, you can see that it comes with a sample database template. We are just going to delete that and create our own. So we'll hop into our IDE, and I'm just going to create a temp JSON file so that we can create the sample data structure and paste it back into the application. So we'll start with an array, and we're going to create an object, and we're going to give this object a name of items. And so this is going to be the name of the table that we're going to be working with, and we're going to give it some fields. The first field that we will start is name, and we're going to give this a type of short text. We're going to do this one more time, but we're going to create a field called description, and we will give that a type of long text. And so now that this structure is completed, we're going to copy this template and paste it into the database template screen in the Backend dashboard and click Create. And so this will take just a moment, and the app is now ready with new tables. And so if we click over on the database tables, we can see that we have some fields here, name and description. And then we'll hop into the back office tab and click templates. Now Backend comes with a set of templates that makes it really easy to visualize and start working with your tables right away. And so we're going to create a new record in the table, and so we'll give it a new name. And then we'll also give it a description, and we're going to do this a few more times just so that we have some data to work with. And let's create another one. And so we're seeding the database now so that when we hook it into our web application, we have something to work with. And one more for good measure. And so now if you go and click on items, you can see that we do indeed have this in the database. So already within 3 minutes, we have a working dashboard up that we can start to manipulate this data. Now Backend comes with a very handy quick start. And so we're just going to walk through this and hook up an existing REST API website that we have into Backend. So the first thing we need to do is to paste in the Backend resource files into our index.html file. So we'll go here, paste it into the bottom. And then we'll go into our app.js file, and we need to add the backend submodule as well as the ng cookies submodule. So we'll just type those in now. And so we're going to go into the login controller, and we're going to add in the backend service as well as the cookie store. And we're going to delete the register and submit method, and we're just going to rename this to sign in. And we will rename this login service to use the actual backend service, and we'll call it the sign in method. And then we'll pass in our login email, our login password, as well as the name of the backend app that we're working with. And we no longer need this access token or to actually do any of this stuff, so we'll just replace this, and so our app is actually getting simpler as we go along. And we're just going to put the result of that call into the cookie store. So we'll just type this in. So we'll put the token name in here. We'll put the response into the cookie. Okay, and we'll just change this submit method to sign in. And then we will hop into the view and update this method. So we'll go to the login template. We'll change this to sign in. And we actually no longer need this as well, so we'll just delete that and just pass in the email and password. We are going to create one more field for the app name, so we'll just copy this right here. We'll change the ID to app name, type to text, and then we'll update the label as well as the ng model here. And we'll just go ahead and delete this new user stuff that we had in here previously. And so when we click submit, it will call the sign in method. Okay, and we need to update the HTTP interceptor to send this token in with each call. So we'll just delete what we have in there and just update the header. And so we are adding the authorization property and setting it to the cookie store value that we set. We'll inject the cookie store so that we don't get an injector error. All right, I think we are good to try this out. Let's open up a new tab. We'll go to localhost 4000, which is where I have this set. And let's go to login. Let's enter in our email, password, and then we will put in the app name. Okay, so we're logged in, but now we do not actually have any data from the table. So let's go ahead and hook that up. So we are going to read data from the database. And so just stepping through the quick start, they've done a really good job of documenting this. So we are going to go to the items model, and we're going to make some updates here. The first thing we're going to do is inject the backend service. And then we need to update how we're actually setting the URL. So we'll create this table URL property. And I'm typing this out, but you could actually just paste this in as well. They've done a really good job of actually generating the information that you need. Okay, and we need to make just a few updates to the controller to handle the data. It's changed slightly, so we're going to do result.data, and we need to update the ID parameter as well. It's no longer all lowercase, so it's capital ID. So we'll just go through here and then update this in the appropriate places. And we'll do this in the view as well. Let's go ahead and refresh the page. And now you can see we're actually pulling in data from the database. And so in just about 10 minutes, we were able to log into the app and pull in data from a completely new table that we created. And so we're going to add this from the website. We'll enter in a description, and we'll click Create. Refresh the database, and you can see in the dashboard that it's working. Really cool. And this was actually really quite easy. So we're going to go ahead and just save it, and we'll refresh the database. You can see that it went there. And so let's go ahead and delete it. And there you go. So we have full CRUD functionality, and our database and REST API is coming from Backend. Let's do one more thing real quick, and let's add the ability to log out from the web application. So we're going to call this function signout, and we're going to actually just delete all of this, and we will call backend.signout. Then we'll just send the user to the login state. So we'll update this method call here. And we will call main.signout. We'll delete this right here. We no longer need this. We'll click sign out, and we're redirected back to the sign in page. So let's sign in one more time. Put in our app name, and we should be redirected to the dashboard. And there you have it. We have taken an existing simple REST API website, and in about 15 minutes, hooked it into the backend services and created login, logout functionality.